Welcome to Colney Talk Podcast.
Hello, everyone. Hope you had a good weekend. You are listening to Colney Talk Podcast, a byte-size show. I'm your host, Alex. First-time guest, thank you and welcome. And to my returning listeners, always good to have you back. On the show, I talk a little bit about the Arsenal game and pick out my top 3 Arsenal players who I think were great in the game, and one player I consider the other guy who just had a poor game or just not good enough. Arsenal faced Crystal Palace at the Emirates. No Saliba in the lineup. A bit worried about the length of his injury. I just thought it was just something that he would probably be able to recover for this game. Same as Tomiyasu, a lengthy injury. Hopefully they can come back much sooner. We're hoping to see a very good response following the elimination from Europa League. Such a tough loss. I still feel that way. As the game started, both teams were just feeling each other out. A bit of quickness from Arsenal play, but not sustained long enough. Still seeing the slow start from the home team. I mean, I'm not sure what's really happening or why this is the situation. I understand Arsenal invites the press, but I'd like us to see us punish and elevate our goal chances in the box. I'd like us to elevate the way we control the game. I'd like us to understand that as much as we invite this pressure in some ways to create space on the backside, we should be able to have a very good control when we lose possession and we regain it back, which we often do, but it just feels a little bit out of character lately. A quick break for Crystal Palace. Zaha's shot, like the early minutes in the game, Zaha's shot off the post didn't ricochet into the net like we experienced from Aston Villa, and from Ramsdale it just went out for a corner. But yikes! I mean, it's just a very uncomfortable feeling. And then Arsenal started putting on the pressure. But it was Crystal Palace who had another open scoring chance. Ramsdale has been having an elite goalkeeping saves in the game, like this second chance, and he's been doing it quite often. I mean, he is really good, and he continues to show reasons why. Their counter-attack for Crystal Palace had given them the better opportunity. Eventually, Arsenal came into the game. We started picking up our dominance. Then we started dictating the game and really dominating Crystal Palace in the final third. Beautiful pass plays, one touch at the edge of their box, pegging them all the way back. Ball to Saka, all eyes on him, as you always expect. Quick cross to Martinelli to open the goal scoring tab. Really nice goal, by the way. And we were now looking to build in on that goal. I like how the team gang hustled to regain the ball back when we lost it. And this was a little bit more than I had seen before. Arsenal kept on with the pressure. A lot of the crosses and the shots from Odegaard, Saka, and Trossard were really coming in. A lot more even from Trossard is how much he was trying to influence things from the middle. We certainly were the more dangerous side after I think more into the 38 minutes in the first half. Although I don't think we challenged this young goalkeeper enough in this first half. We just kept trying to find the right combination, and we just lose, the sync up within the box. We've had this quite often when we get into the box where our crosses and our chemistry just quite off, and the touches, second off, or maybe a heavy pass of some sort. But then we kept doing that, and we kept trying to find more attempts, pressing, and we just felt like that goal was coming until it did for that second goal by Saka. You can sense that it was actually coming, and it was a really beautiful pass from Ben White. So we got our 2-0 lead. And then in the second half, we started out really well, moving with ease in Crystal Palace's box and recovering the ball to make an early goal attempt. Again, it wasn't a long spell on that. We just lost possession, lost that whole momentum. And then Crystal Palace now had their own chance to get in on some possession in our own box, in our own final third. I mean, we did recover, but we just couldn't hold it on for long. A familiar theme, I'm sure you would recall. And then we continued with our good forward pass combinations. Trossard, like he did in the first half, he just continued to do much of that. And his give and go to Xhaka really created that third goal, which was really brilliant. And then we stayed in much of a very good commanding position for much of that second half until we conceded a goal from a corner kick, which, again, we just maybe may have just let off a little bit of our foot off the gas. While it was looking like a game to control, Crystal Palace had a very, very close second shot of a goal, but it didn't go through because they're trying to do everything to get another goal and make it a little bit tighter for us. We were really lucky from that. And all that loose pass, and all that really just came from a loose pass from Partey. So just tells you how much of a situation that we can get in once we lose the ball and not recover very well in our defense. And then eventually we did all we could to reestablish our dominance, and with a finishing goal from Saka, really nice. So we continued on. Danny was all game control and then staying within Crystal Palace's own half. And then interesting subs as we kept going on throughout the second half of the game. Interesting subs where we had Partey switch into right back for Ben White. Who would have thought? I mean, it was really an interesting, situation or scenario that they already have thought about, and I guess something we'll have to keep in mind as we start getting into this running of games. And then there were a couple more chances from Crystal Palace, a lot more than they have had in the last 2 or 3 games. That says a lot about Arsenal's defense. In the end, we held on to close out the game. What could have been a nervous game for us was much more comfortable on the score sheet. This team really responded, from the earlier game in the week and the situation and that tough loss that they had experienced. So now on to my top 3 players. First player, Saka, the most dominant player in attack. Double teamed, physically pushed around as expected, but withstood most duels and kept his ground. He was slicing the defense in different ways, different options. His link up with Ben White was just too much for Crystal Palace. And 2 incredible goals, by the way, for the Stab Boy. So great play today. Second player, Odegaard. This was a game where he feasted on the back line and in very tight spaces around the edge of their box. He was extra light on his feet, sliding between the right and the middle of the dangerous areas of Crystal Palace's half. I saw a lot of good football from the captain today, and he probably would have had a few goal chances, but, that just didn't happen. My third player, Thomas Partey. He kept our spine in check. He played more in front as well, contributing to the attack and keeping things out in front of us. And he really took a full command in the middle. There was no pressure at all, not the way I saw it. And, while we did have a slow moment and times when our defending was open, Arsenal barely was challenged, as I said. And all thanks to his influence and how he was managing most of those situations. And earlier too, very interesting to see him switch to the right back. So at least we know he can, or hopefully he will have the ability when it comes to that. Good to know that we have several players that are this versatile in the squad. And again, there is no other player today. Instead, I'll give a special mention to Ramsdale and Ben White. They really earned the recognition. I mean, doing a lot in the game, a lot of good crosses in the box by Ben White, and then like 2 or 3 massive saves from Ramsdale. So, special mention for them. And with that, folks, I'll leave you here for now. Saka, Odegaard, and Partey make my top 3. I didn't have the other player today, just special mentions only. We have now seen the team respond after a very difficult game in the week. Now let's hope our injured players come back sooner. Fingers crossed. Enjoy the win, folks. Now we catch a breather with this international break. Couldn't have come any sooner. Thank God for that. So good to go away with this win. 10 more finals to go. Until then, I'll talk to you later. Take care. Bye.